We are live on YouTube, and it is Thursday, the 7th of January, right here on Quintessential. My name is Quintus, and it's the Quintessential Show. We are back. It is the show that speaks to the movers and shakers in South Africa. And today we have Higgo van Biljon, the founder of FinMeUp. All right, here we go. Welcome to the brand new year on Quintessential. Hey, Higgo, how are you doing, brother?
Good, thanks, and yourself.
Listen, I'm doing well. It is good to talk to you. Compliments of the new season. That's something that I've never said before. I always used to say compliments of the new year, but I hear that some people say compliments of the new season. So happy new year to
Yeah.
you, sir.
It can only get better.
Let's hope so, man. 2020, that was a tough one, hey. But it seems like the couple first months of 2021 are kind of going to be a little bit of a rehash. Or what do you think?
Yeah, this thing is crazy, huh? I don't know what to expect. I just try to adapt every day. Just make it best as you can.
Yeah.
See what time will tell.
No, yeah, listen, Hiku, thank you for being so contactable at the beginning of the year because, I was looking for people to start talking to live on YouTube, and you were one of the very first that got back to me. So thank you for being so contactable. Looks like you're already working. But so let's get to what we're here to talk about. It is called FinMeUp. It is a financial education app. It sounds like something that South Africans might be interested in. I know it's right up my alley. Listen, Hiku, tell us about the FinMeUp app and why everyone in South Africa should download this app today.
Cool, yeah. Higgo van Biljon. I know most people think it's Higgo, but it's spelled a bit differently. So it's Higgo van Biljon.
Okay.
And yeah, I founded FinMeUp around February last year. Development started way before that, but anyway, that's FinMeUp. And at the end of the day, our vision is to educate, to equip, and to enrich our users. But not only just focusing on one of the aspects, but actually helping our users go from education to execution.
Hmm.
So we have various features on the app. We also now have our own digital university. So all these various features fit part of the vision of education to equip and to enrich. So we also have the tools that helps with the equipment. Then we have the content on the courses, which helps with the education. And we have various interactive tools as well, or features like the discussion forum where users can ask each other questions, ask us questions. We have the summarized news daily, so it keeps you informed. We have the stock picks for investors. So there's a place for everyone that is looking to build their financial futures and financial independence. So that's what we are. We focus on taking our users from education to execution in their financial journey so that they can become the bosses of their own finances.
Well, there you go. That's exactly what we're all about. It's like, listen, we need to get South Africans into financial independence because
Yeah.
that's the tough. I think it's a tough mountain to climb for a lot of South Africans who live from hand to mouth. A lot of South Africans live that way, and it's tough to build an investment culture in the country, if I could say it that way. Tell me now. So you say there's free options on the app, and there's more kind of structured subscription models on the app. Tell me about the free functionality. If I'm a South African who's downloading your app today, what am I getting for free on the app that I can use right now to kind of take stock on my finances in 2021?
So we definitely try to provide as much value as we can to both free users and premium users. So continuously we focus on how can we improve our current features, make them better, and then we also think of what new features can we add that will help our users, both free and premium. That's also the reason why we recently launched FinMe Tools, which caters to both free and premium. So, for example, if you're a free user, you still get the value adds like the daily quizzes to enrich your knowledge. Then you get the access to summarized news. You have access to the discussion forum. You have access to the investment return calculator, to the getting started tools, to the game. So we also provide value to the free users. As you know, the world is so used to free products, so you have to have good free products as well. And then obviously with the premium features, you get access to all the features. So the stock picks included, the podcasts, just a bit more here and there. You have access to the full package. And I mean, our stock picks, we actually did the maths just now before this, and our average return on the FinMeUp stock picks for the past year. Well, our first stock pick was issued last year, February. Since then, the average stock pick return was 112%. And we publish new stock picks weekly. So I'm very glad and honored for that return and proud of the team. So for example, that's a stock pick. So that is your premium subscription back in no time. So that's basically how the free and premium work. We try to give as much value to both, and the premium is definitely not an expensive one. So we just try to add as much value as you can to our users and make the business go forward.
Okay, cool. I want to talk about stock picks. Then I want to talk about the financial university that you guys are running in just a little bit. But first, a little bit of a personal, on a personal note, your chief technology officer, I've been to finmeup.co.za. Your chief technology officer, I believe, is Rudo Martin, correct?
Correct. He joined a bit later.
Okay, perfect. Now, Rudo Martin was the guy when I was in campus radio at University of Pretoria. He was the dude who listened to all of our. We were fresh voices on the radio station at Tux FM, and Rudo was the guy that was listening to all of the new people on who came into the radio station. So he actually picked my audio to get me, like, I don't know, put on the station as one of these newbies at 3 a.m. He was the guy that packaged all the audio for the management to go and listen to. So it's kind of a small world. I'm very, very surprised. But tell me, take me back to the beginning of building FinMeUp though, because I mean, this is obviously kind of like a group effort. You have a team behind you. Tell me, it's a year old now. How did it all come together? Where did it start?
Cool. So it started very informally. I made a WhatsApp group with a few of my friends where I just shared some of my research on companies, where I shared some cool articles, some business ideas, and all of a sudden, my friends that none of them were investing in shares, none of them were thinking of business ideas. All of a sudden, they started investing, they started writing business plans, and I'm like, okay, cool, this is definitely something. And then I just sat down with a pen and paper, just drew some pictures of how our potential app can look like. It's nothing. If you look at those pictures now, you laugh at it. Like,
listen, I've actually got a picture. I'm quickly going to show. I'm going to show our audience the picture of what you. So basically, it's a piece of paper that you wrote up, and it's got like what you think the left column and the right column should look like, and then right next to that picture, we've got what the FinMeUp app actually looks like in completion. So I think it might give somebody a really good idea of how an app starts at a piece of paper and eventually actually culminates into an app. Tell us more.
Yeah, and it's constant iteration. So in the beginning especially, so okay, let me take it to the phases. So then I sat down with a pen and paper, drew it out, and then I'm like, okay, cool, now I need an app developer. I don't know anyone that knows how to develop an app. So I went to my LinkedIn is very powerful, and said I need an app developer with a few hashtags, and all of a sudden I got responses from all over the world, probably like 60 developers. Then I took the CVs from each of them. Then I chose the top 8, had interviews with them, and then I chose a company that I use in India, Maven Cluster, and that's how it started. So then the development started. As the development started, everything changed. Like the iterations, I'm like, okay, this is not going to work. This is going to work. And then we basically soft launched beginning last year. And then I tried to have I'm a big believer in do things that don't scale. Each day, just do things that don't scale, which will end up scaling. So I had a lot of one-on-one conversations with our early users. What don't they like? What do they like? What do they want? What don't they want? And just continuing that process, we just continued building FinMeUp, and also looked at various partnerships, and that's how it grew. So from the beginning of the idea, when we launched, actually, I was still like the sole person in the team, but later on, my older brother also joined. He's also a entrepreneurial expert. So he joined. Then we had a few other people that joined. Now we're starting to employing people one by one as we grow. We now have Rudo, who joined as our chief technical officer. So now we're just looking for ways to add value to our users, because if we add value to them, they'll be happy with the service, they'll tell their friends, and that way we can also grow. So it's a win-win for everyone.
Yeah, I think one of the great things you did when you speak about partnerships is partner up with EasyEquities, like putting a box up there. Now, if you are a user of EasyEquities, and we have an interview with Charles Savage, the CEO, on this channel, just come and look at the Quintessential playlist, the Quintessential Show playlist. So we've spoken to him before. We also have a basket of ETFs on the tax-free savings account portion of the website of EasyEquities. So you can invest in hand-picked exchange-traded funds that Quintessential has worked to put together. But interestingly, now with your company, with FinMeUp, you guys have a stock pick. So you guys on the stock pick portion of the website, you have baskets that have individual stock picks in them. So that's individual stock picks, but put in a basket. Tell us more of, I know you have 3. What can people kind of expect for your baskets on EasyEquities?
So we have 3 FinMeUp baskets on South Africa side. Then we have 2 on the US side. So it's basically, a basket is not a managed fund. It's basically, we just pick our favorite companies for a theme, and then if a user wants to buy that basket, it automatically buys them or invests in those companies that we chose in those theme baskets. For example, in the US, we have a high growth innovation seed basket, which is all these high growth companies that we believe will be long-term winners. In South Africa, we have the Table Mountain theme, which is all these stable companies. So we have various companies. We also have the small cap picks basket, which is more risky. So there's a bit of everything, everyone. So that's how it works.
Now, I like the Table Mountain one. That is certified quintessentially South African. That is what we're all about on our channel. But I do want to ask you about recommending single stock picks. Obviously, in those baskets, you've picked out those things, and if people want to invest in it, they invest in it, and they get proportional shares out of those shares that you have decided on. A lot of the time, because with exchange traded funds, it's like you buy an S&P 500, you have 500 funds. You have 500 like stock picks in those, or that are kind of linked to the companies. Individual stock picks, risky investments, as far as we understand. So, is it sensible to tell first-time investors in South Africa to go into stock picking, like individual stock picking, or should we potentially be throwing them to the exchange traded fund route? I'm quite interested in what you think the first time investor should do.
So the first time investor, I'd say, like, you can't go wrong with ETFs. I mean, the market goes up and down, but if you look at the long term, markets go up, and ETFs are managed for you. But I don't really buy a lot of ETFs. The only ETFs I have is in my tax-free savings, and then also in the US I have ARK Invest, because that's just amazingly well run. But that's why I'm a firm believer in, you can't have execution without education, and it doesn't help if you have education without execution. So equities is for us a good part to execute what you've been educated, but that's why we have FinMeUp and why we built FinMeUp, and especially the stock picks, to educate yourself on these stock picks or on stocks or investing in order to go and actually invest. So with ETFs, you can't go wrong. You're not going to get 200% growth or anything like that. But it's a safe option. And that's also why baskets is a good option, because it's picked by people that has been trading or investing for a while, and you automatically get some diversification into those baskets and into those individual companies.
Yeah, no. Listen, I think that's pretty good. I'm just checking on our text line. We've got Tiago, or maybe it's Tiago, I'm not sure, but he says, FinMeUp is a great business app and tool. Higgo, you are doing a great job. Many South Africans will finally achieve financial freedom and independence because of your efforts. Keep it up, bro. So there's a little nice, kind of comment.
I've actually seen Diego, so he's a true supporter. So thanks for that.
Very cool. No, I ever since finding EasyEquities and then now finding all of you other apps and businesses that are coming around this digital culture of investing in South Africa, I've been really encouraged, because you can see just on the Twitter streets alone that there are a lot of South Africans that are looking into investment and doing it at rates that they can afford, and that's the whole thing of buying shares at least 5 rand, to me is a really, really intense idea. because I think it opens the markets to everyday South Africans. So that democratizing of the market is really, really important. But that's why, the education you bring up is a really good point, because I don't want people to invest in what they don't understand. And that's what they usually say, don't invest in what you don't understand. So you guys have... Go ahead.
On that, especially now with everything becoming Bitcoin and crypto news again, Bitcoin surging, new highs, Ethereum new highs. I'm personally invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum. I've been now for over a year, roundabout, and I'm very glad with the returns.
Mm-hmm.
But once again, it could be a problem because people just throwing money into something they don't understand. So that's why also DCX10 now acquired by EasyEquities, around about 50% stake. We partnered with them to write understanding a cryptocurrency course. So we have these various courses as well that can help people understand. So now you can understand cryptocurrencies. You can understand why Bitcoin could work, why it could not work, why Ethereum could work, why it could not work, and so on. Because if someone asks you, okay, cool, you invested in X, explain why, and you can't really explain why, then you're gonna get emotional triggers to buy or sell, and that's just not very healthy, and it could give you some stressful nights sometimes. So that's why it's good to understand what you invest in.
No, absolutely. If I sign up to FinMeUp, will you be able to explain how Tesla keeps on just going into the realm of this is probably overvalued as a stock? Because I mean that's the issue. People invest in these trends and then they don't do their research, and suddenly you're invested in some trend that at some point could end.
Well, so Tesla is my biggest holding. From the early FinMeUp users, they'll know I've been the biggest supporter of Tesla when it was $400 pre-split, which is about $80 compared to today's price, which is about 10x. The reason for that is we've actually written 3 stock picks on Tesla, each time saying we are buying. Our stock picks are, it's not advice, it's just what we are doing and our research. So that's what the stock picks are. But the reason for that is people look at Tesla at just a car company.
Mm-hmm.
And I know all the Tesla bears said no bull ever, but it's the truth. I mean, if you look at all their, like even Elon tweeted one time, Tesla is like 12 different startups perfectly parallel to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And that is what, and the thing is, Tesla is like a religion for some people. They won't sell their shares no matter what. So now with the S&P 500 inclusion, the demand for shares goes up, but people, they don't want to sell because they're going to hold Tesla shares for 10 years because they believe in the autonomous taxis that will come, in the insurance, in the battery technology, in the vehicles, in all of these various industries in Tesla itself. So for now, Tesla, I think it ran a bit too fast, but I'm definitely not selling. I trimmed a bit of my position in this week just to buy some other shares. I bought a bit of Square because I believe they'll benefit from the crypto adoption. So that's my move this week.
Look,
I like.
That's what I'm saying. I guess, maybe being on the FinMeUp app, will it kind of give you a little bit more of a clear idea of, buying and selling? Because at the end of the day, people, I know that I've read that even in like the Intelligent Investor, the book, it says, avoid exuberance. Try not to go down the exuberance thing where everyone is like so whipped up emotionally, and it's some sort of like, and you can see that with Tesla, and it's this huge Twitter thing that everyone's like, this could never end, but we know things can end very quickly on planet Earth.
But the biggest thing, and it's quite not a conventional thing, but with YouTube, if you just go type in Tesla shares or even Square or all these companies, Neo, you'll find YouTubers with hundreds and thousands of subscribers, and they keep punting these shares. As long as they punt it, their subscribers follow them like sheep. So they'll just do whatever they do, and they just keep on explaining why they're holding, why they're buying. And when the company drops 10%, it's like, okay, it's a crash. Now it's time to buy dollar cost average. So YouTube is also actually playing a part to this massive bull run, in my opinion.
Wow, that's quite something to consider. But tell me about so now with FinMeUni. So these are like courses, and you mentioned the Bitcoin course that you can take through this. Now, I believe you get a certificate at the end of your course. So if you now want to know a little bit more about Bitcoin, and so that you can avoid some exuberance in the market and know more, and like information is power, so you'll be a better investor if you know more. How much are these courses, like the Bitcoin course, for example? Is the certificate that you get at the end accredited, or is it, just for show?
Yeah. Okay. So the thing is, we want to diversify from investing. So investing is great, saving is great, but if you look at 2020, it's good to have various income streams. It's good to have getting income from different sources, because if one thing fails, you have another, because who knows what's going to happen next year. So that's why we spreading a bit from investing, but also into other aspects like how to start and scale a business. So we have a how to start and scale a business course. Then we have a digital marketing course, which is phenomenal. We have the investing course, we have the crypto course. We are soon going to introduce how to create a pitch deck course if you want to raise capital. So we also have a looking after your credit score course. I mean, we're going to fund that, because I don't know how to look after my credit score. I don't even know how to figure out what my credit score is. So now we have a course for that. We partner with the expert. So it's very diversified to build you as the individual in your financial knowledge and future. Regarding the certificate, it's not accredited. It's just a completion certificate. It's saying, well done, you've achieved it. Here's your certificate. It's a very cool certificate, like something you can put in your room. But also the courses are all below 400 Rand, below 500 Rand at least, or like max. So it ranges between 50 Rand and 500 Rand. And there's also a discount, 40% discount currently on the website on FinMeUp. So you can just type in finmeup.co.za, and then there'll be a button FinMeUni, and you'll see currently there's 40% off on all courses. And the cool thing is, once you've enrolled for the courses on the website, you can do the courses on the website and on the FinMeUp app. So we have the FinMeUni on the FinMeUp app as well. So if you're an app guy or women or websites, you can choose where you want to do it.
Yeah, for sure. No, I think it's probably good work, because I do believe that there was probably a lack. I don't know, I'm 27, and I believe there was a lack in financial education in the country when we were growing up. There wasn't anything, like you rightly say, that talks about credit scores and those kind of things. You have to learn these things when you get out of school, and it would be great to take this even further backwards. Instead of universities, we get this in the high schools, because a lot of the time you graduate high school, then you even graduate tertiary education, and you're still sitting there like, okay, so what is going to now grow my money once I get that very first salary? So
that is something we are trying to change. Our motto for FinMe and FinMeUp actually is, what school and university didn't teach you. So I also went through the school and university system, but in university you learn things like how to socialize and network, which is awesome. You need that for business. Then you learn fundamentals of whatever you're studying and the basics, which is good. Then you learn how to time manage and so on. But you never really learn how to execute, or like it will tell you what a long-term, what a short-term plan is, or the fundamentals, or you must write a SMART goal, but it doesn't actually teach you, okay, this is how you do it. Here's how you register a business. Here's how you go to market. Here's how you launch. Here's how you raise capital. None of that. So that's something we are trying to disrupt and change. And we are very open to partnering with schools and universities to actually allow this change to happen, because it is something that must happen, because now you get into this real world, starting a business, and you have no clue where to begin.
Yeah, 100%. And, like just even registering your business name, even though it might feel very easy for somebody who's gone and, registered on the websites and everything for your starter and your startup and your entrepreneur, it's still a little bit hazy. And so that's where I believe that digital is rushing in to provide the education. And that's why we're having this conversation today, so we've identified a small little hole in the education system that we're now only, when we, between our 25s to 30s, trying to get that education in there. We're learning as we're going along as well. But I just wish that for Christmas I bought my cousins who are 18 and 19. I bought them an EasyEquities voucher, and some kids might go like, listen, what the heck, it's just a voucher and this is a website I don't know about. How do you familiarize people with the app? Did you spend a lot of time worrying like, okay, how do we get this app coded in a way that when somebody logs in, it's going to be perfectly simple and easy? Because that's the whole thing with EasyEquities, to make easy, to make investing easy. Now, in FinMeUp's case, when people download this app, is it angled towards the beginner investor on the onset?
Yeah, so it's definitely, like, I think I've probably sent about 40,000 messages to our developers from the beginning. It's just every single day, non-stop, there's something. And like, I'm a perfectionist in a very weird way as well. For some things, I'm not a perfectionist at all, but for some things I am, and that is the app must work. So when we see something is like struggling, we immediately attend it. So I think it's also very important that you get the designs right from the beginning. So I like the tile system that we have, the block. It makes it quite simplistic. And if you click on a tile, it will take you to that section and you understand what's going on. But continuously just looking for ways that people are not happy with the app and taking that and just improving. So it's about constant iterating and improving your product, because at the end of the day, your product can sell itself. Although marketing is very important, but you want people to talk about your business and say, listen, I love FinMeUp. FinMeUp is very useful. I use this for FinMeUp. I get my news every day on FinMeUp. I read the stock picks on FinMeUp. I listen to the podcast on FinMeUp, and it's great. That way more people will download it, and that's just great, because it's a win-win. If our users are happy and if we get more users, our FinMeUp can grow. And the more FinMeUp, the more we can spend on resources to improve FinMeUp. So it's a win-win for everyone, as we are in the space of financial education, getting our users to closer to their financial independence and helping them get there.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys have a lot of bases covered, which is good, because that, in South Africa, with our lack of financial education, plus people that are so interested in following get rich quick schemes in South Africa. I mean, it's almost everywhere. I mean, we saw this with, Mirror Trading International, that people, with just the mention of Bitcoin and promises of great returns, if somebody else takes your Bitcoin and then goes and invests it somewhere else, I don't know. I don't know why I have never found the invite to these things, but I've never gone to some fly-by-night thing, and I'm very concerned for people who do fall prey to fly-by-night things. Tell us more about that. Now, 2020, we have a whole bunch of South Africans investing in these kind of things. For the beginner investor who's easily led astray, how do we end the being easily led astray?
Yeah, so I've also been led astray in my past. That's why I'm so very skeptical of joining new things and new whatever. One of our new employees she's a forensic accountant, and she's going to write us a course that says how to look out for these schemes, or how to look out for fraud, including Steinhoff and mirror trading image and all of these aspects. As I remember, when I first heard of mirror trading, it was, I think, in June last year. And my one mate told me, listen, you got to give them money. Look how crazy these returns are. I'm like, okay, cool. But then I remember she told me, listen, this is a scam. They're going to fail. And I'm like, okay, cool. And now look how that played out. So we're going to write a course for that as well. So you can stay tuned for that.
No, yeah, that sounds great, because I mean, I think one of the things I read in one of the investment books that I once picked up, which I actually want to do more reading. I'll ask you what books that you've read before that have kind of given you some strength. You can give it to me in a second, but what I did want to say is that you do need to surround yourself with kind of, I don't know, straightforward thinkers, and that's what I got from a book once, and that's what my friends and I did in 2020. We saw that, listen, we're going to be sitting around the house for a very long time because there was this national lockdown that happened in 2020, and there might be another one, who knows. And what I'm saying to beginner investors is, go to at least 4 to 5 or 6 friends and say, guys, let's figure our finances out. Let's talk to each other via, I don't know, Google Hangouts for an extended period of time. And let's have a discussion about what you are invested in and what you are invested in. And I'm pretty sure that once you surround yourself with enough people that either went to school with you or university with you, you will probably find that at least one friend is doing some wacko investment scheme, when really they should just be getting the information that it's not rocket science. There's no way to get rich quick, but there are ways to get invested in equities and potentially exchange traded funds.
Yeah.
And so that community then helps you out, and then go and find books as well, because books might just give you a little bit of education. Talk to me about your investment education. Where did you begin that? Because you said, school failed you, university failed you. What's the first book that you pick up and you're like, okay, let me learn?
Yeah. So just back to the community, I'm also a massive believer in community. That's also why we have the discussion board, or we call it the online boardroom on the FinMeUp app, where our users can talk to each other. And as our user base grows, the knowledge on the platform also grows. So that's the online boardroom. It's also part of FinMeUp on the app. But also part of community. I think one massive problem in the world, but especially in South Africa, is the lack of mentorship, of proper mentorship. And even myself in high school, I wanted a good mentor so bad, and in varsity as well. But only once I started FinMeUp, and then mentors start coming along, and that's also something that we are going to change. I'm bold enough to say that, not trying to change, we are going to change that. So we launched Scale Me Up. It's also on the FinMeUp app. When you click on FinMe Tools, you'll see there's personal and business. So it's a personal mentorship and a business mentorship. So that is something our users can consider joining, and we'll hook them up with a mentor for whatever they want to be mentored in, whether it's investing, business, so on. So that's also something that we are building on. And just on books, the best lesson, you said if school and university fails you, the best lesson is just doing it yourself and trial and error. You're going to do some things right, you're going to do some things wrong. When you put your own money and your own time on certain things and you do it wrong, you learn very quickly, because you're not going to do that again. So I'm a big believer of taking risks and doing things. Starting a business is not easy, but take the risk. I mean, what do you have to lose? That we must ask yourself. And books, I'd say the 3 best books are the Intelligent not Intelligent Investor. That's a bit
of an old boring one.
Yeah, no. I'd say third place is Think and Grow Rich, which is a good thing for mindset. And then second, I'd say second and first is tied between The Lean Startup and 0 to 1 from by Peter Thiel. Absolutely great, and I have so much respect for that guy's business skills. So that's what I'd say.
I think, if somebody picks those books up, it might just give them a light bulb moment and you're off to the races. Because that's what I did. I took a look at, okay, what is investing? And then you find Wall Street books. And then you eventually start to say, okay, now how does this happen in South Africa? And then you start reading up on how you do it in your own country. And suddenly you're off to the races type of thing, And I'm very encouraged by this conversation, because I just have immense faith in startups that are coming around that are really solving issues that we have in South Africa. But you guys are making it fun as well. Well, quickly, let me tell you, in terms of just the financial education and the financial terms, I was really impressed by the dictionary you guys have on the FinMeUp app, because I was like, you press so it brings up A to Z on the app, and then you press A and it gives you all these financial terms. So you can start learning these kinds of things that you might see in, articles on CNBC or something like that. So it's got these great terms that can familiarize you.
Talk with investors or fellow entrepreneurs, and it's like, oh, okay, big words. This guy is smart. It's really a thing.
No, 100%. That's what I'm saying. I think what you guys built into there was actually pretty impressive. I'm gonna go and go through each one and check out what the root word for these words are. So there's
Yeah.
that. But you guys have this game. Tell me about this game. You seem to be fans of gamification as well, and I think this is totally underrated in the investment world. If you, we've seen it in language learning, and we've seen it in learning how to code. Gamification is this huge way of teaching somebody from the primary school level all the way to the expert level how to either learn a language, and now with investment as well, gamification is becoming a thing. I mean, you can get a demo account in EasyEquities, but that's kind of like a hard learn if you're doing a demo account. Tell me about the gamification inside the FinMeUp app. How does this help South Africans become accustomed to investing?
Yeah. So we're also trying with the game to get more people involved with shares and ETFs. So it's basically, I don't know how many people has played Super Brew or
Yes.
Fantasy League, but that's basically what it is. It's Fantasy League with shares. So we have JC and US. So each week is actually flipping cool. Each week you can pick your own team of shares. Um,
Hmm.
in the US, Africa, which will do the best. Then you get a 5 times multiplier, which will do good, which is like 1 time multiplier, which will do the worst. So you get a mix of that. You pick your team, and you can be in pools with your friends, with other people from the FinMeUp community. So it's a fantasy league for shares.
Wow, that sounds really good. Well, I think we should add each other on Super Brew, because I'm not too bad at Super Brew, and I think whoever wins, this is what I do with somebody else. Whoever wins at the end of the year, that person has to buy the other person dinner. How about that, Higo? How about it?
Yeah, sounds good. But then we can also create a pool on our
On
investing game.
I'm a little scared. I'm a little scared of you when you're picking those stocks. I think I
Uh,
need to read up a little bit more, because I'm an ETF kind of guy. The stock picking scares
there's
me a little
also
bit.
there's also an ETF pick.
Okay, perfect. Then I've got
Yeah.
you, because I've spoken to
Mm.
I've spoken to the Signia CEO before, Hugo. I don't think you know who you're messing with, my man. So
Is it okay? Yeah, I won't miss.
no,
Yeah,
listen.
something else looking forward to is, like, I see a lot of startups now evolving, and people trying things, especially now, like with every like war in history, the
Mhm.
best business came out of it. Creativity flows because all of a sudden people need to make plans to get extra streams of money and income. For example, us as well. I'm also part of another startup launching within the next 3 to 4 months. It's
Mhm.
called Hundle, Hundle, which is a peer-to-peer rental management platform. So it's like an Airbnb for everything. So that way, people that have products or anything that they don't use, they can now rent it out for some extra money. And people that don't want to buy but want to rent to save money can now just rent on the platform. So it's like an Airbnb for everything,
Mm.
connecting renters to each other. But not just that, like I see everywhere around, people are launching businesses and uh, getting ideas, working on new things, starting things that never would have started. So it's very encouraging, and I encourage everyone, like, if you have an idea, take an educated risk. But worst thing that's going to happen, like with business, you can't lose. You either win or you learn. So
Mm.
just take the risk.
No, absolutely. But listen, Higo, I think you owe me a little bit of commission. I see Kyle Gosros on the chat. He says just downloaded the app. Very cool. So there you go. The power of YouTube, and now you have a new user on FinMeUp, and could be a paying customer very soon.
Oh, well, welcome. Good to have you on board.
There you go. Do follow Higo on Twitter, Kyle, because you can go and tell him what's wrong with the app, what's wrong with the app, and what's right with the app. Tell us where we can get you on social media, so you can speak to some of the guys who utilize the app.
Yeah, so FinMeUp is available on all social media pages. So Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, you name it. And it's constant. It's just FinMeUp, one word. So at FinMeUp, and you'll find it. And that's also a good thing to follow us on social media, because when we post a new stock pick, for example, a new podcast, we post it on our social medias as well, on our stories, so that way you won't miss any stock picks, for example. So you can follow us at FinMeUp.
Proper. The links are in the description of the video. I'm just remembering now. So
Yeah.
if you are
We
just
also
gonna
have a FinMeUp YouTube channel, where we also created some cool educational financial videos for investors and entrepreneurs. So that's also somewhere. It's also just FinMeUp. Forgot to mention that.
No, yeah. Hey, look, I took a look at the YouTube channel and I like that as well. You know, I mean, that's literally free education. You know, YouTube is free education these days. You can find a lot of things if you are being careful. Well, for example, this chat I think has been very educational. But yeah, so I think, you know, in the future, let's keep talking to each other. I actually want to re-invite you on to a different show on Quintessential, because I believe that you also do music, and you've had a song on Jacaranda FM's Top 20, and
Yeah, it was #1 on Jacaranda.
Oh, geez, like, well. I'm sitting with royalty. But what we did with Quintessential was to invite underground artists on, or any artist, because, you know, with level 3 lockdown, even now, you know, they don't have a stage out there. So if we can give them a digital stage, we usually invite any artists on to come and play their tunes. So go and check Higgo out on Twitter. The guy is invested everywhere. He's got new startups starting. He has music out, and he's the founder of this app, which I think a lot of South Africans should probably download soon. Yeah, individual stock picks, it fills me with dread, my man. I am one of those guys who just wants to put it into the lazy ETF and let it run. But just as we end off, kind of shill for stock picks. Is stock picks the way?
For me, it is, because I spend every day researching stocks. So it's a different. There's a different strategy for everyone and different story for everyone to reaching whatever they want to reach. For me, it's picking individual stocks. Like I said, I only have ETFs in my tax-free savings account, and I have one ETF. Well, actually, now I have two, but it's both from ARK Invest. So one is the ARK Invest just innovation ETF, and the other one is the ARK Genomics ETF, as I believe there will be a lot of breakthroughs in the next 10 years there. So I'm expecting some nice growth there as well. So otherwise, I pick my individual stocks, same as like it's very similar to the FinMeUp stock picks. So yeah.
Okay. So if you want to know where they are going and how much they are getting, follow them on social media, get the app. I've seen some handsome returns snapshotted and posted to your Twitter. And now I'm starting to think, my word, what is the next Sasol? That's what I'm looking for in 2021. The year's so young. Let's see how it turns out. Any idea? Let's build a castle in the sky with our imagination. What are you expecting for 2021 South African finance-wise?
Referring to stocks now.
Yeah, for sure. Let's call it by stocks, or the general health of the JSE.
So I think the US markets are a bit overvalued. Not expecting too much there. I believe I've seen most of my growth there now for the next 2 years. JSE, there are definitely some undervalued shares, especially small caps. If you look at the discount to net asset value, some small caps I like is like Master Drilling, Santova, but very strangely, and this could go very wrong, but I think my best performing investment, other than my FinMeUp and Handel, looking at my investment portfolio in equities or stocks, whatever, I think it will be cryptos. So I'm only invested in Bitcoin and Ethereum. So I've already seen triple-digit figures growth on it. So I have a bit of compound interest happening. But my price target, but this could go very wrong, so do not take this advice. But my price target for Bitcoin or Ethereum, I definitely can see it's still doubling this year, but it's going to be very volatile, up and down. But that's my personal guess.
All right. Well, there you go. Thank you for joining us on the Quintessential Show today, Higgo. It was really, really a great chat. And I think that, people must install this FinMeUp app, take a look at it, see what they can glean off of it, and start their investment journeys, because, time in the market is the most important thing. You need to get in at some point. You can't stay away for too long because of that, eighth wonder of the world, compounding, like you said. But thank you for joining us. I'm very, very interested to see where the app goes to. Tell Rudo I say hello. Tell him he needs to get on Facebook Messenger with me or something like that, because
Cool.
we haven't spoken in a long time. But I reckon that you'll be back on our show at some point. Will you come back, Higgo?
Definitely.
All right, perfect. That is FinMeUp, finmeup.co.za. There's a link there to the app that you can go and download. But that is it for today. Higgo van Biljon, thank you for joining us.
Oh, just a pleasure. Thanks for having me.
No
Cheers,
worries.
eh?
Cheerio, buddy.